stage. They got to perform yesterday for kindergarten through third grade. And since first grade, they haven't performed for a group. That's a long time. And fifth grade bodies are very different than first grade bodies. Fifth graders' capabilities are very different than first graders. I threw a lot at the kids. They have done a very good job of putting this all together. I'm so thankful that we're here, that you're all here, and your red, white, and blue looks spot on. Thank you. And parents, thank you for sending in all these fabulous photos. So many cool. I love seeing family likenesses in the eyes, and love seeing very cool photos. So I'm very excited about that portion. The kids did a really good job of editing the slides, making it look a little more presentable. So we're going to get this show on the road. Are you ready to get started? All right. We are going to start with three ladies, Jensen, Natalie, and Marie.
It was the War of 1812. The British and American forces were battling near Baltimore at Fort Henry. Francis Scott Key, a lawyer, was sent to a British warship to help negotiate the release of an American prisoner. Francis Scott Key was held on that ship overnight and witnessed the 24 hours of the bombardment of Fort McHenry. As the morning sun began to appear over the horizon, he witnessed the stars and stripes still waving. Overcome with emotion, he began to write his thoughts and feelings on the back of an envelope. Those thoughts and feelings became the words to our nation's anthem. Please quietly rise and join us in the singing of our national anthem. The Stars Spangled
Next up we have Kate Roberts, Nolan Sharp, Trillium, and Ivy.
On November 11th, 1918, at 11 a.m., the Germans signed an armistice that ended the fight of World War I. The news flashed around the world. Joy broke out among Americans, Canadians, English, French, Italians, and Belgians. Everywhere, crowds gathered to celebrate the long peace. Bands played, people cheered, and sang a new holiday called Armistice, Days with Warmth. In 1954, President Eisenhower changed our holiday name from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. On this Veterans Day, we honor the millions of men and women who have served our nation's military. A especially those that are part of our Tamar community.
We would like to honor the veterans that are here with us today. Please stand and get recognized when I say the name of the branch of the military which you have served. United States Army. United States Marines. Please stand if you serve the United States Army. United States Air Force. And United States Coast Guard. Please give our veterans a round of applause.
No song for that.
All right, next up, we have Jackson, Michaela, Izzy, Ruben, and Eliana.
Once you're on Veterans Day, our heroes we call those servicemen and women, salute them one and all.
They left their homes and families for places far away, and now they are heroes we honor here today. So here to the veterans that fought for you and me, their sacrifice and courage has kept our nation free.
We won't forget how you served our country. We won't forget how you kept us safe.
We give you thanks. We still have freedom, honor, courage. We will not forget our veterans.
If you will give us a moment, we'll get set up here. Miss Madden's class, we're going to move quietly. Axel, Roman, Adeline, Jake, Natalie, Aubrey, Lulu, Kaylin, Kate, Zoe, Miss Simmons' class, I'm going to have you guys line up right behind me. We're going to create a big line this way, okay? We're just going to get all organized before we go in. Bella. Dietrich, Corbin, Ian, Alec, Lily, Sophia. Luke, Jake, Willow, Mike, Sienna, Nolan. On the other side, I'm going to line her up too, because your audience is waiting so quietly. Thank you. Four fingers, I haven't heard a word. Thank you. Starting on the other side, we'll start right at the green stand. Lily, Mason, Liam, Haley, Jackson, Brittany, Kinley, Charlotte, and Ethan. All right, and right behind that, we're going to start with Kayla, Taylor, Tucker, Not. Sorry, buddy. Everything. Ethan, Leandra, Elias, Gabe, Aubrey, Ivy, and Frankie. Now we get to see some fabulous photos. Here we go.
George William Kuchenbecker, Cookie, United States Army Air Forces, World War II.
Donald Brian Martin, U.S. Air Force, my grandpa, Zachary Sasao Kiyoshi, U.S. Marines, my uncle.
Merle and Elmer Detmer, Navy. David Price Detmer, Army. Frank Edward Riley, Army. Eric N. Johansson, Army.
Lester Glorioso, Air Force, he's my grandpa, he was in the Air Force, and he was a medic. My grandpa, Kevin Howard, U.S. Army, and Ryland's grandpa, Bert Sadis, U.S. Army. Daniel Berkshire, United States Army, my grandpa.
James Jenkins, United States Army. James Hollers, United States Army.
My dad, Ethan Thorpe, United States Army.
Brian Miller, U.S. Air Force, my dad. Maria Miller, U.S. Air Force, my mom. Barry Miller, U.S. Army. My uncle, Ricardo Van Holden, U.S. Army. My grandpa, and Monty Grant, U.S. Air Force, my other dad.
Thomas A. Gibson, U.S. Army, my uncle.
Dan Lincoln, U.S. Marine Corps. Ryan Stephanie Kruger, U.S. Army. Lester Lincoln, grandfather, 22 years in the Navy. Robin Lover, grandmother, 15 years in the Navy. Tom Lover, grandfather, Navy,
Henry Wiley, cousin, Army. Harold Kurt Schmidt, great-grandfather. Gerald Messer, great-great-grandfather. Army. Dwight Lilly, great-great-grandfather. Army.
Francis Kendall, U.S. Army. James Monk, U.S. Army. George Smith, U.S. Army.
Norman Oxner, U.S. Army. Sergeant Spencer, U.S. Marine Corps. Philip Graves, U.S. Army.
Omar Arsalai, United States Army. Slash my dad.
Jim Kennedy, U.S. Navy. Juan Juarez, Air Force.
Jim Powell, United States Army.
Gary Scott, United States Army.
Mike Larson, United States Army. Kayako.
Leslie Center, United States Army. John Howden, United States Army. Michael Anthony Karsh, U.S. Army. Robert McMath, U.S. Navy. Michael Anthony II, U.S. Navy. Dion Karsh, U.S. Navy. Omer Dion, U.S. Army.
Scott Salazar, USA Army. My dad, Anthony Picard, United States Army. My grandpa, James Collins, U.S. Army. My great-grandpa, James Collins, U.S. Army.
My grandpa, General Larry Kerr, U.S. Navy. My dad, Scott Short, U.S. Navy.
Matthew Smalls, U.S. Coast Guard. James Stockdale, U.S. Navy and Army.
My dad, Douglas Murphy, U.S. Navy, served from 1997 to 2001.
My dad, Adam Griggs, served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 23 years, and he joined in the 1900s and retired in 221. It is also the Marine's birthday, to let you know.
My grandpa, Michael Joseph Leonard, U.S. Navy.
David, U.S. Army. Nathan Hagerman, U.S. Army. Matthew Smith, Washington Army, Maxwell Dock. Aaron Carter, U.S. Air Force, served 6 years. Taylor Martin, U.S. Army. Keith Hutchinson, U.S. Army. TJ Hutchinson, U.S. Army. TJ Kelly, U.S. Army. And Jared Hutchinson, U.S. Army.
Richard Allen Reiner, U.S. Army. Richard Allen Reiner Jr., U.S. Coast Guard.
Brendan Morris, U.S. Army. Eric Carson, U.S. Navy. Jeremiah Carson, U.S. Navy. Dawson Carson, U.S. Navy.
Kenneth Garcia, Jr. Alfred Peake, U.S. Army. Craig Palmer, U.S. Army. Jack Cartmill, Royal Canadian Military. Tom Palmer, U.S. Air Force. Raymond L. Johnson, U.S. Army. Michael J. McDowell, U.S. Navy. Ron W. Johnson, U.S. Army. Jonathan Anderson, U.S. Navy.
My dad, Joshua Winslow, U.S. Army.
U.S. Army. Kevin Dunbar, U.S. Navy. Ken Dunbar, U.S. Marine Corps. Amy Torrance, U.S. Navy.
Please, gift givers, well done. You took your time. It was good. Thank you for sending in all those wonderful photos. All right, next up we have Madeline, Ekchat, and Alec.
You changed the world with your selfless action. Your sacrifice
for the Stars and Stripes.
Now be received by hero welcome, call to service, and we will not forget our veterans.
We pay respect to our brave defenders. You paid a price so that we could live.
Now hear the voice of a great formation on his faith, for we will not forget our veterans.
That was the best I've heard him do that one. Good job. Good job. All right. We just have 3 more speakers. Here we go. Lita, Ulysses, and Liberty.
We are proud of our veterans. We're proud of all of you. You are patriots and heroes who answered the call. With courage and strength and sacrifice you saw our country through, we are proud of our veterans, proud of our citizens with honor and faith and standing tall.
Our freedom is assured to us because you all came through. Thank you. Thank you for joining us in our Veterans Day Assembly. Please stand and join us in the singing of our school song. We will stand as one.
Come on, fourth graders, here's your